We start on this Saturday night with breaking news. A juvenile in critical condition right now after a shooting on the near west side. Our Brandon Schaff is live at the scene. This is on North Tibbs Avenue. So Brandon, what have you learned out there?
Hey, good evening, Jenny. This is West 12th Street. We're right by North Tibbs Avenue here on the west side. Police telling us that a juvenile male was found in the alley behind me in critical condition. He was transported to the hospital. They had found that juvenile male shot. This happened just after 9 p.m. Officers responding to a report of a person shot. A juvenile male had a gunshot wound after an incident police say was a disturbance. Well, this alley will continue to remain closed as detectives investigate exactly what happened here this evening. IMPD sharing a message against using violence to resolve conflicts.
Your problems by using violence or gun violence is definitely unacceptable. It's one of those things that I don't think a lot of people stop to think about the permanent damage that this can do, and it's not just the individual that might have been shot, it's all the family members as well.
IMPD encourages people to just talk it out or just walk away, not to resort to the gun violence that we saw here this evening. And if anyone has any information, any videos, anything that can help police and the detectives here try to figure out exactly what happened, they ask that they reach out to the IMPD detective that is assigned to this case, and you can also remain anonymous using Crime Stoppers, and they encourage people to do that if they can. Reporting here on the west side, Brandon Schaff, 13 News. Jenny?
All right, Brandon, thank you again. A juvenile male in critical condition tonight. Meanwhile, on the northeast side, a shooting killed someone this morning near 38th and Keystone, and some neighbors had to duck for cover as bullets went into their apartments. Earlier this evening, Brandon Schaff talked with a resident about the violence there.
Shattered glass, bullet holes peppering the window and door. Gunfire hit Jordan Hodges' apartment around 1 in the morning. He lives on the top floor and was playing a video game when he heard people arguing outside. He says that's common, so he didn't think twice about it until it stopped and something much worse started.
It got quiet for probably a minute or two. Then after that, I just started hearing shots. So I threw my controller, got on the ground.
At the apartment complex where this shooting happened, inside one of the units, one of the bullets actually went through the window. You can see where it entered here. It traveled across the apartment into this wall where you can see the bullet hole.
If I would have stayed in the living room, that could have been me. So I'm like, it's crazy out here. I don't know.
Hodge says he checked to make sure the person with him was okay. He stayed on the floor for about 5 minutes, and once it felt safe to get back up, he looked outside to see what was happening.
It was probably 10 cars right here. They all scattered. Then not too long after, I seen police pull up. Then they brought the stretcher, and I was like, they done taped it up. I'm like, somebody probably done lost their life.
Sadly, he was right. When officers arrived, they found a male shot. Medics took him to the hospital in critical condition, where he died. Hodge estimates he heard about 30 to 40 gunshots. Despite the early morning violence, he says he usually feels safe.
It usually be cool over here when the kids are around. It don't be too much going on, but yesterday I guess it was different because it was nice outside.
Police detained at least 4 people at the shooting scene, and the investigation is ongoing. On the northeast side, Brandon Schaff, 13 News.
Metro Police are also investigating a shooting that happened right in the heart of downtown. Investigators say they got a call for a disturbance just before 2 a.m. near Pennsylvania and Washington Streets. That was then upgraded to a person shot. Officers found a man shot in critical condition. Police also detained a person of interest on scene. Metro Police asking anyone who witnessed that shooting, call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS. In Morgan County, a family is sharing a renewed push for justice. Exactly 6 years ago, someone broke into a home and shot and killed Ernest Phillips. But as Marina Silva reports, whoever pulled the trigger is still out there.
6 years.
So I hope every year this is going to be the year.
For Nikki Hubble, that hope has never gone away. She's still waiting to learn why her brother was killed. Ernie, or as his family calls him Poke, was house sitting for his nephew in Paragon on the night of March 6th into the morning of March 7th. When the nephew got home the morning of March 7th, 2020, he found Ernie shot and the home was burglarized.
I just remember screaming and hearing myself screaming, and my husband kind of took over from there.
Since that day, investigators with the Morgan County Sheriff's Office have worked the case.
I see this every day.
The case is now in the hands of Detective Sergeant Patrick Williams.
There are some people that were talked to early on in the investigation by the previous detective. We encourage those people to come back forward. Attempts have been made to reach them.
Sergeant Williams says the goal is simple: bring the person responsible to justice.
And they need closure, they need some answers, and they want what everyone does is the people held accountable for what they did.
For Nikki, this hits her every day.
And we're angry. We're angry. And it's just been a long 6 years.
She knows someone knows something.
It's hard to understand why. I'm sure there are things that we don't know, but I feel like there is a lot that we do know.
As the family marks 6 years without answers, they're still hoping the person who knows the truth will finally come forward. In Morgan County, Marina Silva, 13 News.
Boy, oh boy, stormy morning for a lot of us today, and some of those storms brought lightning. A family's home in Zionsville got hit, and they're lucky. Somehow, that lightning strike around 9:30 a.m. did not spark a fire. Zionsville fire crews sharing these photos of the home in the Rockbridge subdivision. There was still some damage. Crews, as you can see here, tarped off those areas to protect the house from the rain. Rob, sounds like the rain thankfully over.
Yeah, definitely moving this system out of here, but in its wake, we've definitely got some colder air. There were some gusty winds with those storms as well. It's still a little bit on the breezy side, but that's what it takes to get the temperatures out of the 60s and put them into the 40s and eventually into the 30s during the overnight. We're seeing a new air mass move in. It's not necessarily going to last very long, but yes, the rain is over. It has moved to the east. Still some leftover cloudiness. We're probably going to be stuck with this through tomorrow morning, maybe the early part of the morning, and then we'll clear it out, and the rest of the day should be sunny. Still a little bit of a shake to the camera here because it's still a bit on the breezy side. Current temperature at 45. Still some west winds, 10 to 20 miles per hour. It will calm down a little bit overnight, but going to remain a little bit on the breezy side. 45 will turn into 40 or maybe 35, depending on where you are. But look at tomorrow. After a few clouds in the morning, sunshine returns, and we expect the temperatures to get into the 60s by the afternoon. I'll be back with a look at 70s returning to the forecast, and unfortunately, more spring storms.
All right, see you in a few minutes, Rob. Thank you so much. Tensions tonight flaring in Iran as we enter the second week of this conflict. And as Jen Sullivan reports tonight, it's happening as the remains of 6 U.S. service members killed in a drone strike are returning home.
Gray clouds hanging over the families of fallen soldiers as their remains are brought back to the U.S. The dignified transfer happening at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware Saturday. These 6 service members were killed in a drone strike in Kuwait last week.
They're great heroes in our country.
President Donald Trump speaking about the fallen soldiers at a different event earlier in the day. It's been more than a week since the U.S. and Israel launched a massive and coordinated attack on Iran to cripple that country's nuclear program and force a regime change.
We did the world a favor.
Iran launched a wave of retaliatory strikes on U.S. military bases, targets in Israel, and across the Middle East. The ongoing violence has rocked the region.
We do not intend to attack neighboring countries. As I have repeatedly said, they are our brothers.
The Iranian president also said they must not help the U.S. or Israel in their attacks. Meanwhile, Trump posted on Truth Social that violence would escalate, saying in part, Iran will be hit very hard. Many questions remain about what comes next for Iran and who will take over.
It is not going to go away with bombs from the sky. This regime has to be fought with on the ground by the people of Iran.
According to Iran's state-led media, a new supreme leader could be chosen in the next day. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Coming up tonight, a deadly storm hits Michigan. The damage from a tornado and the cleanup communities are dealing with tonight.